These are the plaintiffs, Vincent LaRocca and Jessica Lancaster. Vincent says he and his fiancée moved into the defendant's apartment, and soon after, he lost his job. He asked the defendant if he could pay him a little bit of the rent late, was told no problem, and was then promptly served with eviction papers. Well, guess what they discovered when they started poking around? The apartment the defendant was renting to them was not legal. They're suing for $2,925 for the return of 3 times their security. This is the defendant, Sean Mitchell. He says he's a hard-working guy who gets up every day so he can pay his bills and put food on the table. The plaintiffs are lazy, sit-at-home-all-day types who don't pay their rent. So we wrote them a letter and told them to vacate. They try to skip out in the middle of the night, owe him for rent, and are nothing more than professional tenants who move in and want to live for free. Owe them money? No way. He's accused of saying one thing and doing another.
Okay, Vincent LaRocca and Jessica Lancaster, you are suing your former landlord, Sean Mitchell, for $2,925, 3 times your security deposit of $975 that you say is wrongfully withholding, which is interesting because you don't live in a state that has treble damages for security deposits. You lay claim to the security deposit based on damages and rent that you say they owe you. Let us hear from you first. Go ahead.
Okay, Your Honor. We moved in on August 15th of 2009. It was a month-to-month lease. There was no actual lease. It was just a month-to-month verbal agreement. We paid security and rent, and in January, I ran into a little bit of a problem with my job, where I mistakenly took a commission-only job, and we ran into trouble with the rent.
Okay.
I spoke to Mr. Mitchell the last week of January.
So the first month that you have rent trouble is February?
Yes.
Okay.
I spoke to Mr. Mitchell at the end of January, told him that with my job situation, I wouldn't have all the rent on the first, and that I would like to pay it throughout the month, and he said that would be okay. Towards the end of February, I had paid $700 worth of that rent. I still owed him $275. We were supposed to speak with him on the 28th concerning that and the next month, and he came to us on the 27th asking to have the conversation early.
What was the conversation?
The conversation concerned whether or not we had the money for the next month and for the rest of that month.
And did you?
For the next month, I'll be honest, we did not.
Okay, so you told him, no, I don't have the remaining $275, and no, I don't have rent for next month.
No, I told him I did have the remaining $275, just not that day because we planned on speaking the next day.
It's the 20th. Okay, I know. It's the 20th. It's now the end. It's last day of February.
Right.
You're saying I don't have it the penultimate day, but I'll have it the last day, and no, I won't have rent on March 1st. Okay. And
yes.
And then he does what or says what?
He excused himself. He went upstairs and came down and served me a letter, asking me to be out on March 18th. I do have a copy of the letter if you'd like
And he
to see
handed
it.
that to you on February 27th?
Yes. But
now, you should be entitled to 30 days' notice. So did you tell him, no, I'll be out on February 1st?
I told him that I was required 30 days' notice, and he said that he would speak to an attorney.
Okay. And then it turns out you decide to just go ahead and leave in the beginning of March because I guess you find something else?
My mother allowed us to move back into her place,
Okay.
Where we have a bedroom.
Okay. So you end up leaving on March 6th?
Yes, Your Honor. We left on March 6th, partially because my mother allowed us to move back in with her,
Okay.
and partially due to the conditions that we were currently living under. Because
what conditions were you living under?
He made it very difficult after the 28th for us to stay
okay.
there.
You meaning the conditions meaning getting along with him?
Yes.
Why? What happened?
For starters, he blocked the driveway that was for our use with his trailer, preventing us from getting her vehicle out.
Okay, how long did that happen for?
Until the day we moved out.
So you couldn't get your car out?
No.
I do have a photo of the trailer blocking her
let me
vehicle.
see. What else did he do?
Cable service was in my name, and our cable stopped working, but he wouldn't allow Cablevision access to check the line.
Mm-hmm.
They did check the line from the outside, said that there was cable going into the house, but not making it to the apartment. I do have a...
So you think he cut the cable line?
Yes, and actually on move out, he did admit to Jessica's mother that he did cut it.
Okay, this is, you're
This is
Jessica,
Mom,
and
yes.
that's your mom?
This
Yes.
is my
Step
mom.
on up, Mom.
Hi.
How did he admit to you that he had cut the cable?
In conversation at the end, when they were moving out, when he came down to examine the apartment to make sure everything was left in good condition, which it was, because I personally did it. He and we both had a talk, and I said to him, Sean, how about giving them back their security? The apartment is left nice. He said to me, oh yeah, he goes, I'm really sorry it didn't work out. And in conversation, I brought up a few things that they both told me that he had said. Number one was that my son and I were both dealing drugs, and that he would call the police.
Somewhere in here,
anytime
the
I
cable
came.
answer is going to be there, right?
The cable
What did he say about the
answer
cable?
was, I said to him, Sean, come on, you even cut their cable. He goes, yeah. He says, I know.
Why would he confess to you? It sounds like you were having like not
We
a pleasant
had a conversation. I was able to
conversation.
speak
Like
with
you're
him.
accusing him of stuff, and they're
Well,
moving out.
I brought up the things that they said to me, and I brought it
And
to
then he
his attention.
confessed to you,
and
yes,
he
I
said,
cut the
he
cable.
goes, yeah.
Did you confess to her you cut the cable?
Of
All right,
course
I'll
he's
hear
gonna
your
say
side in a
that.
second. Go ahead and let me go ahead and come back. And so, so he closed you, and he's trying to make your life impossible to make sure you leave.
Yes.
According to you, he closes her car in, he cuts the cable. What else does he do?
He threatened to cut off all the utilities. I have a police report, so I did go to police in case it did happen. And he also came into her job and harassed her at work.
What did he tell me about that?
I went to work one night. I was closing, and he approached him and said,
Approach who?
"My fiance."
Oh, you work there too?
No, he came
was
to pick me up that day.
So you're outside or you're inside? What kind of place of
We're-
business is this?
Walmart, ma'am.
Okay, so you and your boyfriend are both inside Walmart.
Yes, he came to pick me up that day. I was getting ready to leave, and he approached my fiance Vincent, and he started badgering my
I
fiance.
don't want to hear, like, here's what I don't want. I don't want to hear words like badgering, harassing. I want to know what he did. I'll be the judge of whether it was badgering or harassing.
I'm sorry,
So,
Judge.
no, that's okay. So, what else did he say?
So if this defendant were really badgering the plaintiffs, does that excuse the debt?
I don't think it excuses the debt. I don't think it's right, but I don't think that gets you off out of paying.
So you
your
can
debt.
do anything to somebody who owes you money. You can badger them, you can harass them, you can go to their place of work, and there are no consequences.
I would think that you'd still have to pay the money. I just don't think you get off by doing that. It's out of line and it's wrong.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. Oh, yes, I am. Going inside the courtroom.
He then proceeded to tell me that if we weren't out by the weekend, he would stop being nice to us. And
Wow, I'd hate to see what that is then.
and then he walked away, and as he was coming back to exit the store,
He came through once again.
he came past her counter again
Proceeded
and proceeded to ask her if we would be out by that weekend. And she asked him please not to bring it into her workplace, and he told her that we should have never brought it into his house.
Okay,
And one of her coworkers actually had to ask him to leave the store.
okay. All right. When you did a walkthrough, were there any damages that he noted?
No.
No.
Did he say he was going to keep any of the security deposit?
Yes, he gave us a breakdown.
Right
of
on the spot? That he had
Yes.
written up right there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can I see that?
Just,
The amount of the security deposit is $975, correct?
yes, and I do have rent receipts.
Why are you suing for triple?
I had read online that we were allowed to in New York State.
Certain states have treble damage statutes. Yours isn't one of them.
Okay.
Okay. But so you probably read online Jersey or another state. Okay. All right. And then he has here $975 security, and then from that he takes $275 for February rent, $188.70 for the days you were there in March, and then two other figures: paint and carpet. What is that about? Let me hear from you. According to them, you're making their life a living heck. You are cutting their cable, threatening to cut off their utilities, and dumping some trailer behind her car so she can't get out, and just in general making their life heck because unlike other landlords who have to patiently wait through the eviction process, you do your own eviction.
Well, I never did my own eviction, Your Honor.
Okay.
I can address each issue as they brought it up.
Did you cut the cable?
I did not cut the cable.
How come magically the cable wasn't working?
Cablevision never contacted me to come and fix the problem. Mr. LaRocca never had them contact me. There's no...
You claim that he had denied them access. Do you have any proof of that?
I just have the paper where they wrote that they had no access to the landlord's side.
But that might mean that he didn't answer the door when they rang in the middle of the day unannounced.
He was not home when they came.
Yeah, that's not the same as denying them access, saying you can't go on my property. All right, in any event, let's put that to a side because that doesn't end up affecting us. What's affecting us is that you're not returning their security deposit, so tell me
Yes.
why. What's your defense to that?
do you have a copy of the layout?
Yes. The notes that you wrote?
Yes, my
Yes.
page with the notes.
Yeah.
The reason why I had it pre-written before I went down because I knew that I was going to run into this. It was, this is the amounts they said they were not going to pay me. The rent from February and from March, and they told me they weren't going to paint the apartment, And they had painted the apartment, one bedroom in the apartment, a horrific color purple.
Purple?
And, Your Honor, may I?
Yeah. Did you
the
paint an
paint
apartment purple?
It's
was-
periwinkle, Your Honor.
It is periwinkle. You told me it was, you said in your answer to the complaint that it was Barney purple. You ever watch Barney? This isn't Barney purple. It's a periwinkle.
The problem
I mean,
is-
it's not. The problem is, yeah, I'm sure it was a generic contractor's white before you got there, right? Like a white or a beige.
It was antique white, Your Honor.
Yeah,
It was
that's
all
And
antique white.
Antique white. That's what, why? Because the vast majority of tenants are going to prefer not to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is sort of a specific thing. So when you painted it, did you ask permission to paint it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And was there a discussion that you'd paint it back to the original color when you left?
Yes, Your Honor,
Yeah,
there
there
was.
usually is. I mean, there usually is.
My reasoning for not painting it was with everything that was going on, including him cutting cable, which was also.
By the way, when we talk
unfair.
about everything that was going on, there was one part that you didn't mention that was also going on, which is when he's doing all these things, or you perceive him to be doing these things on purpose to you, you then decide to find out for the first time whether or not the apartment is legal, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is not something that concerned you in the slightest in August, but now it concerned you. So what did you do?
I went to I called Town of Brookhaven, and they sent an investigator out.
And now, whose idea was that?
That was my
Mom's
mother's.
idea.
Yes.
I had a feeling. Okay, so go ahead.
They sent an investigator out, and she took some pictures and said it was indeed illegal, and that he would be served with a court date for that.
Did you get served with a court date?
I got served with summons, Your Honor, and not that it
It
affects.
is in fact not legal, correct?
It is not. Is not.
Are you making it legal now?
I am. I have a letter from my architect. Would you like to
No,
see
it's
it?
fine. Now, the reason why it has to be legal is because your town does not allow you to rent it out unless it's up to the code that they specify for human habitation. They demand that there be certain minimal things, and the only way they have to make sure landlords are doing it is if they give you the permission to rent, and so you don't have permission to rent. Now, what about the carpet? Why is it that they, who have been there like 5 or 6 months, have to pay to clean the carpet?
As simple as this. When we went in, it was agreed upon and shaken on that the carpets would be cleaned.
Okay,
And
was it agreed upon and shaken on that the carpets would be cleaned when you left?
Never with me, Your Honor.
Okay, watch it.
I can't defend myself against liars.
Yeah, so now you can't keep money for that.
No,
Now
it's
tell me this. How do you figure that I'm the law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last I checked. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
are renting an apartment illegally.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds that I, as the law, am going to use my long arm to help you collect rent that the law says you can't collect?
I understand.
Okay, so are you right? Yeah, they lived rent-free for $275, and they lived rent-free for the 6 days of March. Are you going to get it? No, because in order for you to get it, it has to be a legal apartment. Otherwise, you lose the benefit of getting me to enforce it. And if I am not going to enforce it, I'm not going to let you enforce it on your own by keeping their money for rent. All right. You don't have any proof on the carpet. You can't keep the rent. I agree with you on the paint. There's a $975 deposit. There's no question about that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
That is correct? Okay. So I'm going to allow you to keep $250, and that means that you have to return $725. So I find in favor of the plaintiffs in this case in the amount of $725. Make the place legal, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
See what the defendant has to say coming out on the landlord here loses his case. Come on in here. What do you think of this outcome? You understand why?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
I understand that we were both aware that it was an illegal apartment,
Right.
and the judge feels how she feels, and we're not going to argue with that.
Okay, so do you think they orchestrated this and knew that they could get away with it because of the illegal apartment situation?
I think they're
Do you?
professional renters.
What do you think? Explain that.
I think they've been around the block a few times with the process.
What makes you think that?
Just the way they hold themselves around with the renting and being in court. They've been here before. It's no question.
Okay. All right. Head right down this way.
Thank you.
Good luck with everything. All right. Come on in here. You didn't get every penny, but step on in here. You satisfied how this comes out? Step up a little bit. Right there. Good. Satisfied here?
I'm happy. I understand not getting the money back for the painting.
Mm-hmm.
We did verbally agree, so yeah, I probably should have painted it.
When did you become aware that it was an illegal apartment?
Oh, I would say about he actually admitted it to him in the middle of the street, saying that
When?
it was
At
an
what
illegal
point?
apartment.
At what point?
I would say
after he gave us the letter, it'd be out.
Uh-huh. Because he
Yeah.
claims you're professional renters who know how to work the system.
yeah, no.
This was our first apartment.
Oh, your first apartment?
This is our first apartment.
Oh, okay. All right, Harvey.
Okay, Kurt, it seems unfair on a level that the tenant can live there for free, but the bottom line is this is an illegal lease and judges cannot enforce leases that are against the law. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.